Adaptation is an important but overlooked facet of the global warming debate. That's probably why the GAO has concluded that federal, state, and local governments need better coordination on climate change adaptation strategies. It's a popular misconception that there is scientific consensus about the future impacts of global warming. There is little agreement in the scientific community about what the specific effects of climate change will be. That's why a strategy that focuses on adaptation and not taxes makes more sense. Congressional Democrats believe a cap-and-tax plan will cure global warming, but there's little reason to believe that that's true. Unless China and India make similar emission cuts, there won't be any reduction in global temperatures. Cap and tax may not have much impact on global temperatures, but it will have a big impact on the American economy. The Waxman-Markey cap and tax bill calls for an 83% cut in greenhouse gas emissions by 2050, but a study by the National Association of Manufacturers and the American Council for Capital Formation shows that by 2030, the economy will already feel the pressure. Come 2030, cap and tax will have shaved as much as 2.4% or $571 billion off the U.S. gross domestic product. That's nearly as much as the government spent on Social Security last year. Cumulative GDP loss during the coming decades would be enormous, with projections of more than $3 billion in lost economic output. This isn't just a problem for business and industry, as the government will also be shortchanged. In 2030 alone, federal and state governments would see nearly $170 billion less in revenue. That's money that would be more wisely spent on adaptation. The GAO report shows that local and state government managers are finding it hard to fit global warming adaptation into their budgets, as more pressing concerns over jobs, infrastructure, security, and other issues are taking precedent, as they should. By enacting cap and tax and reducing economic growth, Congress risks cutting the revenues that state and local governments will eventually need to fund climate adaptation projects. Proponents of the legislation argue that the bill will raise new tax revenues that can be used for adaptation. I would rather not reduce growth in the first place. The written testimony of one of today's witnesses emphasizes the importance of resilience to climate variability, regardless of the cause. Dr. Kenneth Green, a resident scholar at the American Enterprise Institute, will submit testimony that highlights many important decisions for policymakers, such as faulty wisdom behind rapid development in areas prone to natural disaster, the need for investment in new climate technology, and the benefits market pricing could bring to adaptation preparation. I welcome his perspectives as a part of today's record and yield back the balance of my time.
Great. Gentleman's time has expired.